Pricing, one of the eternal questions of modern day economics. How do you price your product? What's the right price that your product can command? Can you price yourself way too high of the market? Can you price yourself too low to be profitable? Today we are going to find out the right way to price your products. This is the way that helps you dominate your marketplace. Let's get started. Hi, my name is Laksh Bell. On behalf of Westernston, before we get started, I want to offer you the 6-point strategy checklist that you need as a small or medium business owner for formulating strategy if you don't have a formal strategy for your business right now, or to reformulate your strategy if you already have one. Speaking of strategy, today we are also talking about pricing strategy. Pricing strategy is how you price your products, your services, your offers in a way that your market is willing to pay you for it. They don't resent you for paying so high, and it's sustainable. Okay, so let's take an example. Let's say you start with the pricing strategy that the economists call the fair market value, which is you take the price, whatever it is that it costs you, right? Let's say you're selling a product, it costs you X number of dollars for manufacturing and another X or Y dollars in other costs, right? Like lease or paying for your salaries, for your employees' salaries, bills, wages, so on and so forth. Now you add those costs up and you add all the other ancillary costs up like transportation, licenses, so on and so forth. And then finally, you add a margin to it, a profit margin to it, let's say 20 or 30%. That's your ideal price point. That's one way economists will tell you how you should price your products. Now, I do not agree with those economists, and you'll see why. But that's one model. Let's first quickly go over the models and then we can see. The second model is look at what everyone else is charging. This is where everybody starts. If you're selling software as a service, you might find yourself going for anywhere between $19 a month to $99 a month, because that's what your market tends to charge on a monthly basis for the most part. If you're selling, let's say, candy, you would probably charge $1 to $5, not much more than that, right? And you look at Shark Tank and you have products over there from entrepreneurs, and many times the sharks, the experts, the business experts will reject a business idea or a product or a model because they say that it's going to have to be priced too high and nobody's going to buy at that price point. Well, not true at all. Let's talk about something called price elasticity. Okay, the bag you're looking at right now is the bag I use and carry on a daily basis. Now, this is a very expensive bag. It's so expensive, in fact, that it's probably something I'm never going to throw away. If it gets damaged or needs repair, it's going to get repairs, but I'm never going to throw it away. I'm probably going to pass it down to my son or somebody when I die. And I'm probably going to use it for a very long time to come. It's very high quality and it's very durable, but it's also very expensive at $2,000. Now, why did I pay $2,000 for a bag, which is essentially a messenger bag? I could have bought a bag, a cheap messenger bag, made out of PU leather or fake leather for $20. I could have bought a real leather bag for $200 or $400. Why did I pay $2,000 for it? Well, several reasons. First, I really liked it. I liked the design, that's one. Second, it's made out of the flesh or the leather of crocodile. So that's the other factor. The third one is it was presented really well. So that's one reason. And the fourth one is I can simply afford it. I mean, if there's something that I'm going to use for the rest of my life, $2,000 seems to be a bargain, right? Even at 15%, $2,000 is like $300 a year, which is less than $1 a day, and I can afford to spend $1 a day on the bag I am carrying. Same thing with my shoes, with my suits, so on and so forth. So it seemed like a bargain to me. A $2,000 bag seemed like a bargain to me. And I'm not alone, I'm not even that rich. There are people who would drop $50,000 on one night of partying without having second thoughts about it, and who do it regularly. I don't know how they do it, but they do. There are women out there who will compete and get in line on a waiting list for a $60,000 Hermes bag. $60,000 purse. It's true. Look it up. So if you're selling purses and you're thinking, hey, I can't charge more than $40, you're probably doing that on the basis of your own neuroses and your own fears and your own biases. You're probably thinking, I'd never spend more than $40 on a bag. So how the hell would someone else spend $40 or $50 or $400 on a bag? And that's why you're not daring to sell those expensive bags. The truth of the matter is, not only will someone buy a $400 bag, but they'll also buy a $4,000 bag and a $40,000 bag. Case in point, go to williamabraham.com and check out how much a pair of socks can go for. What do you think a pair of socks can go for? $10, $20? Gotta be really nice for $20, right? Well, at williamabraham.com, a pair starts from $60, $70 or $80. That's the minimum. The bare minimum. That's the cheapest pair of socks they sell. On the other side of the spectrum, it's $1,400. You can go to their website right now and check it out. It's funny to me. It's hilarious. People will spend $1,500 on a pair of socks. People will spend $1,000 on a pizza. So there's more price elasticity than you imagine there is. If you're selling and you are finding that the cost of acquiring new leads or cost of acquiring new customers or clients is getting prohibitively high for you, and you're getting squished out between both ends, between rising costs of advertising and falling selling prices, you're doing something wrong. You're trying to price yourself in accordance with the rest of the market or on the basis of how much it costs you to build that product. Well, where do you account for the marketing costs that continue to rise? How do you compete with people who are importing similar products from another country by the boatload? They have economies of scale, their transportation costs are next to nothing, they can get 10,000 units and they would pay as much money as you would pay for $2,000 for 2,000 units procured locally or manufactured in-house. How do you compete with them? Well, the answer is you don't. You just be unabashed about your pricing, right? There are social media agencies out there that will charge you $300 and they'll put you on your Facebook page, on Twitter. They'll create a Twitter profile for you, a LinkedIn profile for you, a YouTube channel for you. They'll post a shitty little video on there for you, and they'll do a little website for you, and they'll charge you $400 a month. And you can get that, but I am not going to sell you that. If you talk to me, my pricing starts from $55,000 a year. That's the bare minimum you pay me if you want to work with Westernston. Now there's a difference. It's not just because of price elasticity, it's also about the value differential. If someone is importing bags from China for $3 a pop and selling for 20 a pop, then probably it's not the same quality that you can manufacture for, but you are actually paying or spending $30 to manufacture, right? You gotta emphasize that. The end user doesn't know. He goes to Amazon.com, types in bag, and sees a bunch of bags. He likes yours, he likes theirs, it looks similar. That's $20, yours $200. Why would they buy? It's because you have no brand equity. They're not gonna buy yours. So build some brand equity. How do you do that? Well, I'll tell you what. The pricing strategy that goes into brand equity is not exactly a science. It's more a matter of having balls to command more prices, higher prices. Now for $50,000, $55,000 a year, $4,500 a month, we don't just create a page for you, we take care of your entire marketing campaigns. That's something that nobody can do for $300, right? We take care of every single marketing campaign you have. We even take care of systemizing some of your operations. And that's the beginning, But if you were to do it all in-house, it would cost you more. Similarly, if someone were to build a bag in-house, which nobody does today, but if they were to, they would never be able to achieve the quality that you are selling to them at the price that you're selling. And that's how you communicate value. See, I'll tell you what, people are not really price conscious, or if your customers are price conscious, that's probably your fault because you're trying to attract the price conscious buyers by advertising discounts. Whose fault is that? It's not my fault, I'll tell you that. If you tell me I got the cheapest products here, and then you only manage to attract the bottom feeders in any market, the people who are only concerned with price, they're not concerned with anything else, then that's your fault. Your marketing did a piss poor job of attracting the right audience, which is what the job of marketing really is. Getting your message out to the right audience. Look at my triangle of marketing playlist. Okay? The first thing I talk about is who it is that you sell to. So, if you're targeting the right people, they are not price conscious, they're value conscious. You know, I got a $1,200 chair right here, task chair, $1,200 chair. Believe me, it's extremely valuable to me. The $1,200 I spent on it, it's chump change. I'll tell you why. This thing comes with a 12-year warranty. By the way, check out my video on the top 20 gift ideas for business owners that they're really going to appreciate. If you have business owner friends or associates or partners or suppliers or vendors, whoever it is that you want to gift something, check out that list. A really valuable list. It's based on the same idea that business owners and people whom you are probably trying to, or you should be trying to target, are value conscious, not price conscious. So I'll tell you a little bit of, I'll give you a little explanation on why this chair is valuable to me, okay? For $1,200, this thing comes with a 12-year warranty. It's a Herman Miller chair and it gives me at least 2 to 3 hours of extra productivity each day based on the ergonomics. It fits my back like a glove. I can sit on it and get 2 to 3 hours of extra productivity out of it. Now, my billing rate for my clients, for my existing clients, starts at $500 an hour and upwards. So, you know, if I can extract 2 hours a week out of it, I recover my cost in a week. But I extract 2 extra hours of productivity out of it. And my back, not to mention my back. I mean, I only got one spine, right? I don't want it breaking apart or falling apart. Those trips to the chiropractor are gonna not only cost me money, but also time, which is way more valuable than money. I only got a limited amount of it. So this Herman Miller chair essentially costs me what? 20, 30 cents a day? I don't care. It's cheap. It's extreme value for me. 12 years down the line, I'll buy the most expensive and the most valuable. See, expensive can be valuable. Expensive can be really valuable. Okay? Now, if you go to India, the jewelry system is very different from here in the States. In India, what happens is you pay the jeweler on the basis of amount of gold you're getting in your jewelry or silver you're getting in the metal you're getting in your jewelry, and a little bit of, you know, a small percentage of making charge, which is what they make their money on. So if you go to Tiffany's and you buy, let's say, a ring or a tie clip or a pair of cufflinks, you'd pay a lot of money and most of it would be just brand equity. But if you go to India and if you buy, let's say, a pair of, you know, earrings or a necklace made out of pure gold, then you would be paying largely for the gold. See? Now, if I go back to India and if I buy a lot of jewelry out there, it's a lot of value for my money. For $20,000, I'm getting about $18,000 worth of gold in bullion values, right? Just the metal alone. So jewelry is essentially free. See, expensive can be valuable. Your pricing strategy has to be based on the idea that expensive can be valuable and that you should be targeting people who are value conscious, not price conscious. I'm sure Herman Miller has no problem getting paid $1,200 for this chair and guaranteeing it for 12 years because they believe in their product. If you have a good product, you can guarantee it. By the way, a solid guarantee in most cases is all you need if your product is strong and sturdy enough and good enough to pretty much outprice everybody else in your market by a factor of 10 or 20. Easily. If you're willing to stand behind your product for a decade, you can charge 10 times, 20 times, 30 times as much as everybody else. That's one of the ways to increase your prices. And here's the thing, increasing your prices by 10% often leads to 200 or 300% growth in many cases, sometimes 50% growth in profit margins. Why? Because your fixed costs do not change. Your cost structure, in fact, doesn't change at all. Neither the variable costs nor the fixed costs change on the basis of how much you sell something for, right? Some of the variable costs might change, right? Like the cost of goods sold or marketing costs, or, if you have people, middlemen, the commissions, right? That might change, but for the most part, your cost structure doesn't really change that much. So let's say you're selling something that costs you $20 to make and you're selling for $100, and your other costs are about $50. You're making $30 on the process, right? On each sale. Well, you increase your prices by 10%. Now your cost structure is the same, but your profit margin is $40. So your profit margins have increased by 33%. Real easy. So increasing your prices, and depending upon your margins, increasing your prices by just even 2% can actually give you a 10% or 20% increase in total bottom line. So what's the pricing strategy? Well, prices as high. Price your products and services and your offers as high as your market is willing to pay. Simple. How do you know how much your market is willing to pay? Increase slowly but regularly and test. At a certain point, the sales, and you're going to lose sales, of course. I mean, if I'm charging $500 for a haircut versus someone who's charging $50 for a haircut, yes, he's going to have more volume. But what I have to focus on is the bottom line. So at some point of time, the increasing revenue or profits from sales will not be able to offset the fall in the number of sales or the decrease in the number of sales. That's the point where you stop increasing your prices any further. That's it. Until then, you keep increasing prices and figure out a way to make your offer valuable and a valuable proposition to your audience. See? It's not that hard. Of course, none of this applies if you're selling commodities or stuff that anybody else can sell. Now, if you're selling Me Too is no way to sell. I mean, if Me Too is all you've got, it may be a good campaign for sexual harassment, but it's not a good campaign for building a business, I'll tell you that. Me Too is not a strategy. It's not a pricing strategy, it's not a marketing strategy, it's not a strategy of any kind. You don't want a Me Too strategy. What you want is an only me strategy. Only we stand behind our products for a decade. Only we can guarantee that this will happen. Only we can deliver this benefit. Only we can deliver the product overnight. See? USPs abound. And you can price it anywhere or anything you want. And there's a lot more flexibility in pricing than you think. Okay? You can probably charge 10 times more money for whatever it is that you're selling if you were to only strengthen your guarantee and your benefits a little bit and your packaging a little bit. Make your product better, charge whatever you want. Apple, it's not an exclusive product, it's a mass market product, and they still managed to charge 3 or 4 times more money than everybody else. Why? Because they innovated. They did something that nobody else could do. And as long as they continue to do that, they're going to continue to prosper. And when they lose sight of that, they're not. The market is comprised of individuals. They're not your friends. They're not my friends. They're not loyal to any brand except the brand that's loyal to them. See? The brand that gives them or delivers exceptional value to them every time they interact with the brand is the brand that they're going to be loyal to. And if that changes tomorrow, your equity with them is going to get eroded rather quickly and they're going to move on to someone else. But they'll move back to you with just as much ease or just as quickly if you are the one delivering that value proposition to them. So what have we learned today? Don't worry about the price conscious buyers, A. B, worry about the value conscious people, which or who happen to be the people who are not price conscious, right? And there's far more price elasticity than you can imagine. The easiest way to increase your bottom lines is to increase your prices. I mean, no one even notices a 10% change in price if you are doing B2C. Nobody notices. And yet, that can have a huge impact on your bottom line. So pricing strategy, charge whatever it is that your market is willing to pay. A. B, have an extensive value proposition and don't worry about the price. And you don't want to worry about the sales lost because of the price consciousness. You don't want the price conscious buyers anyway. They're the most difficult ones to deal with. That's your strategy. And adding a zero might be hard, but then when you force yourself to come up with value propositions, pretty soon you're out innovating everybody else in your marketplace. Now, if you want to work with us, with Westernston, we help our clients out innovate everybody else in their marketplace. If you want us to do that for you, get in touch with us by clicking on the second link in the description below and contacting us for a free consultation. If you qualify, we'll offer you a free consultation, no strings attached, 1 hour or 90-minute long depending upon your needs, and we'll offer you some suggestions that you can implement on your own, or you can have us implement those for you and we can discuss our pricing structure with you then. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching it. Hit like if you liked it, hit dislike if you didn't like it, and let us know why in the comment section below. Leave a comment below if you have a question, review, comment or query, and we'll try to get back to you. And as always, thanks for watching. Share this video with your friends and hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that bell icon to be notified every time we put out a new video. Have a great day.